Shifting tracks, but staying with news coming in from Maharashtra. Now, reactions have started pouring in after reports emerged of several vehicles procured by the Mumbai police under the Nirbhaya Fund, which were meant to fight crime against women. Those are being rather employed to escort MPs and MLAs of the ruling Eknath Shinde government. Sena MLA Aditya Thackeray, in fact, took a charged at CM Shinde and accused him of misusing the funds which were meant for women's safety and security. He took to Twitter and called it a disgrace and a monstrous ambition of one man and power-hungry group wanting these perks, which has led to the state being pulled backward. NCP leader, NCP MP Supriya Sule, in fact, also reacted, calling it a shame.
I read a news report that the vehicles which are used for the Nirbhaya squad, they are being used for the security of certain politicians, particularly those who have left the Shiv Sena and formed a separate group, and they are seeking high security. So some of these vehicles are being used for their security. These vehicles should be used for complete patrolling, the night patrolling, the day patrolling, so that such cases are detected, women in distress are detected. We saw that a Korean girl was molested and attacked, and she didn't receive any help, a timely help.
Right, let me go across to my colleague Arunil, who's been tracking this. Arunil, first of all, these are reports which have emerged of misuse of Nirbhaya Fund. Have we got any reaction from the government or the Mumbai police on this matter?
At least till now, there is no reaction that we have gotten from the Maharashtra government or the Mumbai police. But this is an allegation that has been made by Jayant Patil first, the Maharashtra NCP chief, and now Aditya Thackeray also speaking about it. We also heard what Manisha Kayande was speaking to our colleague Ankit Kumar was saying as well. So basically the allegation from the opposition, that is the Mahavikas Aghadi, is that there were several vehicles that were bought during the MBA regime. This was the Nirbhaya squad that was made to ensure the safety and security of women who basically are who are traveling on the roads of Mumbai. The squad was named after the horrific case that had happened in Delhi, the Nirbhaya case. Now the allegation is that the vehicles that were bought with the Nirbhaya fund, those vehicles are used for the private security of the MLAs of CM Shinde camp. Now it is extremely serious allegation, and Mumbai police still now has not reacted to it. Whether they will react or no, that is also a big question that arises, because this is a political bickering that has been taking place, and generally the police force doesn't want to react to any kind of political allegations. But yes, we can expect a reaction from the Shinde Sarkar or CM Shinde and his men on this, because when funds were being allotted for the Nirbhaya squad, when vehicles were being bought for the Nirbhaya squad for the safety and security of women, isn't the safety and security of women more important than the security of these MLAs from CM Shinde Sarkar? They already have government security. Why to allot vehicles from the Nirbhaya squad? That is the main question that comes to the fore.
Right. Arunil, thank you so much for joining us with that. I'm also joined by Clyde Crasto, NCP spokesperson on this. Sir, we've seen Supriya Sule also already commenting on this, calling it a shame. We are still waiting to hear what the Maharashtra government officially has to say in their defense on this matter. But your first reactions on this report?
Well, it's absolutely shameful, isn't it? I mean, there is a fund that is reserved for women, the Nirbhaya fund. The jeeps were given to the police stations, and they were called by the MLAs and the ministers for their own protection. I mean, how much more shameful can this be? This is nothing but a misogynistic mindset where they don't care about the women, they don't care about the safety about the women. I mean, this has come in the last few days. You had Abdul Sattar making derogatory, dirty statements before. Then now you have these people. They all have their own security given to them. Why do they need another vehicle for themselves? And if they are so worried and so afraid of whatever is happening around them, they all are capable enough to have their own cars. They should have taken extra cars from their fleet of own cars and asked the police to be part of that whole squad. This is nothing but shameful. And I think the Home Minister, should now intervene. He has a lot to answer on this issue, because the police were provided these vehicles for the protection of women. and they were taken away from the police and the police stations and given to these ministers. So the responsibility lies with Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, who is the Home Minister of the state. He needs to come out and tell the people of Maharashtra and tell the women of Maharashtra that their safety and their protection was compromised, and all these vehicles were given to people who can take care of themselves. So it's about time the BJP, the Shinde Fadnavis government, and the Home Minister actually come out in the open and answer this shameful act that has taken place.
Sir, I mean, we'll of course have to get into the details of the period in which this, the fund diversion actually took place, or rather the SUVs which had been bought by the fund diversion actually took place. But do you also see a bit of a lethargy in the sense that the political establishment did not really take any of this? We have heard reports before as well that the Nirbhaya fund was hardly used much when it had in fact been allocated over the years also. It's been 10 years now since that horrific incident in Delhi, and following which this fund had in fact been set up. But year after year, we have seen several political parties actually ignoring the proper use of these funds. Those were, of course, some of the reports. In Maharashtra also, now this report has come out that those SUVs are being used for something else. So don't you think that the larger political establishment also needs to be answerable? It's not just about Maharashtra government, of course, has to answer about this specific allegation, but the previous Maharashtra governments as well.
Well, if you're talking about the previous Maharashtra government, and if you're talking about the timeline right now, these SUVs were given in June. Okay, these SUVs were given in June, and later when these MLAs became ministers and they were allocated wide category security, these vehicles were brought in then. So aren't they answerable for that? And if you're going to talk about everybody, do the inquiry. Let the inquiry come out and see. The point here is protection and safety of women has been compromised. This cannot be taken lightly. You cannot go back. What has happened right now? These cars came or vehicles came in June, and this happened now after these people are given wide security. So the question has to be raised, and the Home Minister has to answer. And if you are inquiring everybody, do the inquiry for everybody. But why sidelining this inquiry? Why should the inquiry be sidelined?
Not sidelining any inquiry at all over here, at least, Mr. Clyde Cresto. Yes. Please hold on to that thought. We have some more breaking updates coming in on this. And the Congress has also, in fact, reacted on this particular report, which is emerging of Nirbhaya funds being misused. The Congress has, in fact, said that it is a brazen misuse of power by the Maharashtra government in the manner in which the funds or the SUV which had been bought with Nirbhaya fund was, in fact, being diverted for CMs for protection of MPs and MLAs under the Shinde government. Let me also go across to Sachin Sawant for more on this from the Congress. Mr. Sawant, we are actually breaking the Congress's reaction at the moment. Your party has called it a brazen misuse of power, the manner in which the Nirbhaya funds in Maharashtra are being misused, if we are to believe this report.
Yeah, definitely it is that way. See, you need to understand that this particular government is answerable for this misuse of power. So it's really appalling to see, it's like outrageous that this Nirbhaya fund, which is supposed to be used for Nirbhayas in Maharashtra, they are being used for the protection of the MLAs. There's something that is like, cannot be acceptable. And the government has to answer whether the security of the ruling MLAs is more important than protecting women from abuse. So it's absolutely condemnable, and we strongly condemn this.
Right. But as I was also asking Mr. Clyde Cresto, that there have been several reports in the past as well about how Nirbhaya funds were not properly used. How do you think this is actually significant for improving the women's safety and security in Maharashtra? In fact, lately, if we are to go by certain incidents, whether it is the very tragic incident which took place in Aurangabad, in which a girl had to jump out of a running auto to save herself from a molester, or this incident of this Korean woman that we saw in Mumbai. There have been back-to-back cases of women, the safety under threat in Maharashtra, even in the capital city of Mumbai. So do you think somewhere there has been this is also yet another example or yet another brick in that entire wall, if you have to look at how the Maharashtra government has in a way been a bit lax in terms of improving women's security?
See, you need to understand there are two issues, different issues. You cannot have a comparison between the two issues. One is that the laxity cannot be compared to the misuse of power. And apart from that, the priority which has been given to the security of MLS than which is supposed to be given ideally is to the security of women. So definitely there are issues in Maharashtra. And see, if you go by the report which has been duly published and in detail, the police department has been continuously asking for those vehicles because they were needing it. Still they were denied. Still those vehicles were not returned. Why? Because the priority for the government was to protect the MLS. It is absolutely condemnable. And the second thing, you were asking, I
Okay.
heard the question that you asked to.
I also am joined. Right. I'm also joined by Mr. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm also joined by Mr. Atul Bhatkalkar of the BJP over there. Mr. Atul Bhatkalkar, first of all, what's your reaction on this report which has come out?